Fellas, you know Degree Cool Rush deodorant, right? Well, last year they changed the formula, and guys were mad about it. One dude even started a petition. So guess what? Degree heard us, admitted they messed up, and brought the original Cool Rush scent back exactly how it was. And it's in Walmart, Target, and other stores now for under $4. So grab some and remember why its cool, crisp, and fresh scent made it the #1 men's antiperspirant for the last decade. Degree Cool Rush is back, and it smells like victory for all of us.
Auto insurance can all seem the same until it comes time to use it. So don't get stuck paying more for less coverage. Switch to USAA Auto Insurance and you could start saving money in no time. Get a quote today. Restrictions apply.
USAA. Hilton brings you new ways to stay. With experiences that let you capture the glory days. Introducing the Graduate Hotels. Each inspired by local college towns, these stays are always original and never boring. Get in touch with traditions all across the country and enjoy a stay that's a class above the rest. Book at Graduate Hotels with Hilton Honors Points at Hilton.com. It's a win-win. Hilton, for the stay.
From the Fifth Quarter Studios in Madison, Wisconsin, you are listening to High School Hoops with our hosts, Steve Collins and Jake Steger.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to High School Hoops, episode 50, getting back into the school mode. So I'm assuming all the teachers out there are literally shaking. Oh, school mode. Yes. It's anybody that thinks that teachers take the summer off and are laying around eating bonbons. I have another things coming, but it's a different kind of stress during the season. So Coach Steger and I are going to talk about kind of how we tackle the beginning of being the school year along with all of our other responsibilities in being a high school coach. So even if you're not a coach, I think it's a pertinent episode. Also, I'd like you to go over and check out our sponsors, Dr. Dish. The reason you should, first of all, go to their website. They've got all sorts of great workouts over there. The great thing is a lot of those things, a lot of those workouts are already programmed into the Dr. Dish. That's what makes them so innovative. So go over and check them out. Mention Coach Unplugged or High School Hoops. We appreciate that. Allows us to keep this podcast on. They appreciate it. I know they love to know that people are listening to the podcast. So if you do that, please mention us. We would really appreciate that. Also, great time to go over and join teachhoops.com for coaches who want to get better. All right, welcome to High School Hoops, episode 50. Halfway to a century. Yes. All right. So today it's school's a knocking. This is a horrible time for teachers all around the country. We're going to talk about getting back into school mode and kind of the habits and the routines that you need to do this. So this again, we've always teased about my adult ADHD, which is true. But so I think you have to come up with routines of when you're going to do stuff. And, the season's still a couple months away, but I'd say a lot of people, every high school coach is either has a job outside the building or they're a teacher.
Right.
One or the other. I don't know anybody that's
just teacher, not teacher.
Yeah. So there might be a few maybe in Indiana that just coach basketball, but there aren't many.
Or you live in Texas and you coach football, but that's right. About it.
Yeah, but there aren't many. So That means you have another job. So that when that job is going and then you're trying to coach, you have to come up with a routine. When are you going to prep for the next practice? When are you going to do the next practice plan? When are you going to get your scout ready? When are you going to break down film or look at the film that's been broken down? All that stuff. So I think, especially for the young coaches out there, you have to come up with a time to get that stuff done. Even in the summer, like I get a lot of my stuff done at 2 times in the day. Early morning, because I got a puppy still who's only 8 or 9 months and is getting up early right now because she just had surgery, or late at night after everyone's in bed and it's quiet. And I know those are my times. And sometimes I'll watch Netflix and just surf and answer tweets and do Facebook stuff. But other times I'm just going to go, okay, I'm going to get some work done because it's quiet and I can do it. So I kind of have my routine of when I'm not doing stuff midday most of the time. And it's even harder with like you, coach, who have little ones. You really have to probably slice up those times of days. It's crazy.
nap time, but the problem is that I tend to take nap time when my son takes nap time
You
right now.
should. You should. I
Because
used to do that too.
I know, but he's only little so much. He's cuddling on you, and it goes away too quickly. So
It does. It does. It
so
does.
I'm not gonna say I'm a bad person for doing that. One thing I wrote down, and I think it's develop a checklist. I'm
Yeah,
a
I'd love to
huge
see other people's checklists. I'd
Yeah.
love to see other people's checklists. If you go over to the Facebook group, I'd love to see that for sure.
Or maybe come up with some topics that we could add to a checklist. Like, all right, what are all the things that we have to get done before season starts?
Right.
Because there's a lot.
Yes. Yes. I was just teasing. I was just talking to a coach that got a job in our league, and he goes, Coach, I didn't know there was so much stuff to do in the summer. I was like, well, yeah. The only way I'm not doing something is I leave town. I literally have to. I know there's going to be a stretch here. I'll be coming back by the time this goes up, and that will be I'll still be doing basketball stuff, but I'll be out of town. I won't be going into school. I won't be that. It will be like away. But yeah, you have to have a checklist. You got to go find great assistants too. If your routine is just you, you're toast. I'm telling you. I wouldn't be doing this for 30 years if I didn't have assistants that take a lot of that heat off of me on a regular basis. But buses, like you said, it's buses. And you'll love this. We rotate uniforms like every 5-6 years. Volleyball, I'm coaching this is my last year of volleyball. I'm coaching volleyball and basketball, and they were both on uniform. We both getting new uniforms this year. Hey, Coach, I hope you're enjoying the podcast. If you are, there's a bunch of ways you can help us out. First of all, you can subscribe and like here and leave a review. Those are really important to us and help us get the word out about this great game. Second thing is you can go over and check out us on YouTube, Teach Hoops. We have all sorts of videos we're putting up about every other day. We put a video on Teach Hoops. You can also go over to our Amazon link, www.teachhoops.com/Amazon. Bookmark that every time. It's an easy way, free way for us to get a small little kickback every time you buy something on Amazon. It doesn't cost you anything, and it allows us to pay for our hosting fees, and you'd be surprised how expensive it is to do a podcast. And the last thing is make sure you go over and check out teachhoops.com for coaches who want to get better. This is the time that all of us want to become better coaches. We ask our players to become better coaches, or better coaches. We ask our players to improve their craft. You should improve yours. So go over and check it out. Let's head back to the podcast. And it's like, oh my God, my spring was like, so finally I turned to my assistant. I said, let's send out a thing to the boys and have them design it. And then we'll have a little contest. So going back to, last week with team building, that goes back to last week's with team building. It's like, that was great. They were all excited and they were doing it. And I ended up picking one of the tops that they did. And it was like, I don't really care that much as long as it doesn't look like the old, Seattle Seahawks one. Remember those colors? That one funky. Or maybe it was the Astros. Remember the Astros had those weird colors down the side? You probably don't remember. You're too young. Yeah, you're too young. Go back and look at retro 70s Astro uniforms. As long as they didn't look like that, we'd be okay.
Okay, so let me write that down. Give me something to do. I think
it was the Astros. I think the Seahawks had some really funky ones too when Sigma played for them. But yeah, so we got to talk about top basketball movies. Put that down in our podcast at some point, Coach, because I'm redoing my basement. I'm ordering like movie posters and stuff. So we should definitely do one. That would be a fun one to do, like when coaches need something to do in the fall, like I got my top 10. But it'd be interesting. I bet we'd have a lot of the similar ones as far as basketball movies. All right. So what else on routine?
Well, I think you gotta learn how to prioritize too what's really important and what's going to get in the way later on that's going to create more stress on you. I think the whole idea is to learn how to alleviate stress. Once you get better at this, it takes time. It's going to be really rough the first couple of years, and no matter what level you're doing. As you get better, you just keep taking notes and you learn like how to delegate, what to do, and you learn how to figure out what's important to get it done. Like, uniforms are cool. I'm sure your first year being able to choose uniforms, that's really exciting for you. But after 30 years of coaching, it really doesn't matter anymore because they better know how to set a dang screen. They better know how to have a good defense or rotation.
Right.
I don't care what their uniforms look like,
Right.
you know. But
Right.
when you first start out, all those things, everything matters to you at that point because it's so new to you.
Well, you'll love this. You'll love this. So at the tournament we were at, the boys were saying, "Hey, can we go retro for a game?" I go, "What are you talking about?" He goes, "Oh, can we go back to like Wesley's year, like the 05?" I go, "Whoa, hold on." So maybe, but then I gave them I said, if you do this season wise, then I can pull out the old jerseys. Maybe we can play a game in them.
We did a retro. I used to do a retro night. It was awesome. I found jerseys from the early 1990s, and they wore them, and they were like shorts.
Were they legal? That's the problem. Is you got to make sure
they were legal.
Okay.
But like you're in a bigger conference, and I was in a small town conference, so it might be different. But they were completely legal. I don't know what would make it not legal.
I don't either. Yeah, there weren't logos and stuff. It's like, yeah, they were asking about Wesley's jersey. I go, Wesley has Wesley's jersey, I think, but I have one, so I have to get it signed. All right, anything else on that, Coach?
No. I now I lost my train of thought. What we were talking about. Oh, getting ready for it's a mind shift, you know.
It's routine. It's habits. It's habits. So I was reading something on habits. I will throw this as parting words before we do the last one. Is the key to a good habit is you have to build on it.
Yep.
So, and I don't remember who said this, but anyway, so everyone should floss probably more. Well, every day you probably shower. If you don't, you should. So what you do is you shower and then maybe you floss while you're showering. You know, you get those little pick things that aren't actually the long strings flossing. So you're more likely to do a habit if you build on an existing habit, getting up and eating, getting your coffee, doing something like that. So I think that's what you want to do is you want to build on them. Anyway, building on habits. So that's important. So especially for the youngsters, build on your habits. You know, if you want to work out, you know, you got to build on a habit that you're already doing. Maybe the drive home. Maybe it's after you have your cereal every morning, then you go do your workout. Something you have to also understand who you are. Like if I don't go from work to the gym, most of the time I'm not going to go back from back home. Like I know once I get to my house, I'm not getting back to the gym. You know what I mean? Like it's not well, especially with your kids, it's not happening. Yeah.
No. It's not happening.
It's like a black hole. All right. What's the question for the week?
How do you feel defending a baseline out of bounds plays? Are you a zone or a man?
I wish I was a man guy, but I tend to be more of a matchup zone guy because I don't trust them. And I think more and more people are playing zones than before. So I think the twist for people listening is some of your out of bounds plays you got to try to work some actions outside of 14, 15 feet. The actions of getting it at the rim are not what they used to. They aren't what they used to be. So I think you use those as counters and you try to spread things out and get them out. I don't know. What's your thought?
I don't know. I just felt like I've always gotten killed on zone because the guys are real lazy. But I've always just tried a 2-3 zone, and it just seems like a matchup makes more sense guarding, matching up in your area.
Yeah, and I like a matchup because they're responsible for somebody.
Right.
Like who are you guarding?
Right. So that makes sense. To run strictly a 2-3, I feel like that creates I've seen a lot of bad things happen. A lot of good things in my point too, of where we've been able to tear it apart for a lob dunk or and depending on what team I'm coaching, where I've been able to really pick that apart. If it's a true zone, just a 2-3, I feel like people get they're not matched. You're not truly matched up with the player. So a matchup zone makes complete.
Yeah. So I like that. Okay. All right. Till next week. Go get ready for school. Hey, everybody. I hope you enjoyed that podcast. If you did, please go over and leave that 5-star review on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, Acast, wherever you listen to these podcasts. Also, go over and check out teachhoops.com for coaches who want to get better. It is my baby. Learn all my secrets of how I was able to win 80% of my high school games, 3 state titles, multiple conference championships. Let me help you through this great journey we call coaching. All right. Have a great day.
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.